Hey there, it's me, Katie-Beth again. And today I'm going to show you how I made these Undersea Luau birthday party invites, as well as the coordinating refrigerator magnet. Put the birthday reminder there on the refrigerator. Alright, let's get started. First off, we have the invite cards. So this is the overall theme of the party. It's a Moana, Ariel, Undersea Luau. And initially I was going to use that picture and put it on the cards, but it looked really boring to me and I couldn't figure out how I wanted to do it with that. So I took a few pictures and spliced them together. I took this Moana picture and I used Moana on it. And then I took Ariel off of this card and Sebastian. And then I used Dory, found this cute little baby Dory picture. And then this Nemo picture. So I cut them up and put them all into one picture and made her Underwater Sea Luau themed card. And I was practicing what writing I was going to put on, so that's what I thought I wanted to put on, but when I actually printed it, it didn't look like what I wanted, so I decided I was going to try something a little different later. These are the actual cards I got. I just got them at Michael's. I believe they're about a 5x7 card. And this is the paper cutter I used. I also got it at Michael's. And this is me trimming the picture down so that it can fit on the card correctly. And sometimes I did not have it quite right, so I had to slice little pieces off. So the cards that everyone's getting are maybe not all 5x7. They're a little adjusted to whatever I needed to do to make the card work. There was also still this little area after me slicing it off. Sometimes there was still a little area that didn't quite match up. And you can kind of see that here. Here's all the cards that I made. And to cover up the weird edges, I used glitter and glue. And at first I tried using a glue stick, but it was really patchy and wasn't what I wanted. So I went to glue, and I glued around it and then painted it on with a little paintbrush. And then this is what it looked like after I used the glue and paintbrush to get the glitter on. And then here I'm actually using a paintbrush, bigger paintbrush, to wipe away the glitter. So it's not just all glitter everywhere. I didn't want it to completely be glitter when everyone opens their cards. And to seal the glitter around the edges so less flakes off and more stays on the card, I actually went and used a little Mod Podge around the edges. And the Mod Podge I was using was running out, so I actually ended up moving some of them to be used with glue. And the glue worked pretty much just as well for the sealer. It didn't dry quite as transparent, but it was still okay. And this is what I thought I was going to put on the card, was Autumn's Undersea Luau, but I changed it to You're Invited because the smaller words just looked better on the card. And this is the color glitter paper I used with my Cricut machine. And at first I was going to use it as a stencil and use glue and glitter to write You're Invited, but it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. And so I actually used the inner letters to write it on there. And this is the difference. And this is what I ended up with, and I actually used pieces of confetti to glue around the edges to add a little more. And this is what the inside of the card looks like. I used shimmery white cardstock, and this side is the side that has the information you need, like date and time, and this side is the side that has the kids' itinerary, so what time different activities are happening. And next we have the glitter envelopes. Here I tried using a glue stick first, of course. I thought it would be the easiest. It wasn't. This is what it came out with when I used the glue stick the way you would normally use a glue stick, really choppy and gross. And this side, I just laid it on there. I just put as much glue as I could, and it turned out better, but then I couldn't match them. So I tried, the part that I left empty, I tried to glue on, and it didn't look right. So what I tried next was spray glue, and that actually ended up working a lot better. This is the same envelope, I'm just using the other side because it's a trial, and I really like the way that looked. Just a side note, if when I bought my spray glue, I took off the cap and there was no little nozzle to spray. So I took it off another spray can and it worked fine. So just in case this happens to you, you'll know what to do and you'll be great. Next, I sprayed it with a clear acrylic coating, and then I tried it to see if the glitter would come off, how well it stayed. I rubbed it a little, and then magically no glitter came off, so that seemed to work pretty well. However, when it dried, I wasn't a big fan. It kind of looked dull and not glittery enough, so I did another coat. But then I also noticed that it wrinkled my envelope up, and I didn't like having those wrinkles on there. So then I ironed it. That's how it looked ironed, a little better. However, this was a side effect ironing. The first time I didn't use parchment paper, and it got all over my towel. So the next time I used parchment paper, and came out really well. So this is what the finished product of my envelope looked like. I was really happy with it at first, but I wanted to do a trial run and see how it sealed. Not horribly for undoing an envelope, but I had the idea to cover the edges so I didn't get all the glitter on that, so it could still seal like a normal envelope. So I put the masking tape around the edges, and then again I took out the glitter, the craft glue, and then glittered everything. This is what it looks like from the back. Notice I did get glitter. I kind of wasted glitter because it stuck to the back of the tape. So that's something to think about. And then I used the clear acrylic covering coating to coat it, but it didn't coat quite that well. So I went back to using the Mod Podge or glue so that I would have that coating and the glitter wouldn't flake off. And so these are my trials of that. This is me peeling off the tape around the edges to see what it would look like. And so the first one, it was kind of not that great, but the second one I let dry a little more and the edges came out really crisp. There it is with the really crisp edges. Pretty excited about that one. And then here's an example of the envelope once it was sealed. I covered up the address with a little cartoon. And here is another one. I only did this to one because I wasn't sure how the glitter would survive in the mail, so I'll see when he gets it how it turns out. Another thing to notice with the envelopes is that I did put that piece of paper around the edges, or around the center of it, and that is to give it a little more padding so the magnet that I put on the back of it doesn't rip through the envelope. And speaking of magnets, our next section is the refrigerator magnet and reminder part of the invite. So I printed up little circles of the main theme with Moana and Ariel that she liked. And then I cut them out about the size of the rocks that I had for the glass rocks that I got for them. And I got these glass rocks at the dollar store, so they're not expensive. And this is what it looks like with the rock placed on top of it. And then I just grabbed my Mod Podge, and this is the first time I was using the Mod Podge for a while, so it had a lot of gunk in it. Pretty much gone. I just saved it forever, but it's still good. And I'm speeding this up a little just to make it easier to watch. So I painted the Mod Podge on the bottom, and then put the picture on there, and tried to squish it on. And then I was using that other paper as a scratch paper, so I didn't get it on the other ones that I was going to use. And I kind of ran my finger around the edges to make sure the edges got on there so the picture would stay on there nicely. Patting down the edges still. And then if you have time, it's great to let that dry first, but I didn't think about it for a while, so I went ahead and just put another coating on. But again, it would be better if you let the first coating dry first. And then I just repeated that process a bunch. These are my first 4 that I used as a trial. And I just used my E6000 glue. Just daubed it on there and then put the magnets on top. And I let those dry for about 24 hours, just to make sure it was on there really well. And these are what the magnets look like on my refrigerator. So some of them came out pretty well. So I was excited about that. And then to send them in the mail, I talked to the post office lady and she said to actually tape them on. And so this one is taped on the side, other ones I taped in the center. It's so that it's not moving around in the envelope and so that it can be considered part of the card and not a loose piece of something in the card. Furthermore, that's also why I had added the extra layer onto the front of the envelope so that the magnet on the back of the card doesn't poke through and rip through the envelope as I explained earlier. And here are the refrigerator reminders. The magnets weren't really strong enough to hold up the card since I made them so thick with all my glitter and extra paper and pictures. And so I got some vellum. I got a pack of it at Joann's Fabric. And I just printed it up on there and cut them into convenient sizes to have inside the envelope. And so it's really thin, so the magnet definitely can hold it up. And it's kind of cute, so you don't have a bulky card on your refrigerator. You can just put the little reminder on there with a little cute magnet. And that is how I made my birthday invite set. I hope this video was at least somewhat entertaining for you watching at home, and I hope you got some great ideas for making your own invites. And as always, thank you for watching, everyone.